Hello. Today, what I'd like to discuss with you is the promise of a fulfilling, enriching connection with your twin flame and what that means. What is it really like to be with them, your twin flame? What is it really like to be with them? Not only am I going to tell you what it's really like to be with them, I'm going to explain to you why it is like that. And I'm even going to give you some resources you can use to get there. So buckle up. If you're new here, my name is Kurt. I'm the world's #1 twin flame coach, just in numbers alone. I've personally coached over 6,000 twin flame students to date. I've caused thousands of unions. You can go check out my free coaching videos right now on my True Twin Flame Teachings playlist on this channel. Just look for the playlists menu and look for the playlist called The True Twin Flame Teachings. They're absolutely free, and you can even check out a few student testimonials, students of mine who are married to their twin flame on that playlist. And I've even got a playlist specifically for twin flame success stories. I want you guys to see that you're not crazy, #1. This is real. #2, somebody figured it out. And I don't think that makes me better than anybody. I don't think that makes me special. I'm not bragging. I just want you to know somebody cracked the code. Somebody figured it out. Why? So that you can end your suffering. I was there, guys. I went through the whole thing. If you go watch the very first video on my True Twin Flame Teachings playlist, it's called The 5 True Signs You Met Your Twin Flame. You're going to get an earful of what it's really like to meet your twin flame, because it's not what the internet says it is. The internet is busy telling you how beautiful and amazing and wonderful it is, and it's just like soulmates, only better. Yeah, right. You're sitting there like, wait a minute, why am I feeling like crap? Why am I suffering? Why the sleepless nights? Why the obsessive thinking? The desperate behavior? And by the way, some of you who may be a little bit further along on this journey, you're seeing a bunch of like weird numbers and synchronicities, and you're having all of these weird telepathic visions, and all this weird kind of stuff is going on too. Yeah, it's pretty bizarre, this journey. It is not what the internet says it is. And that includes what it's like to be with your twin flame. Now, my twin flame is permanently in my life. She's even appeared on my YouTube channel. If you go to the True Twin Flame Teachings playlist, of course, there's the 2 interviews that we did. We had a couple of chats on there. She's appeared in a few tarot readings just for fun. You know, I do those too on this YouTube channel. So she's in my life, guys. And I'm even going to tell you how I did it. But let's talk about the matter at hand here first. What is it like? What is it really like? Well, here's the thing. And this is hard for people to hear, and this is going to really hurt a lot of feelings. This is going to make a lot of people click off. I'm going to lose a lot of you right now. But guys, it's not going to do you any good for me to just sugarcoat things and tell you what you want to hear. What it's really like to be with your twin flame is, well, it's not pain. That's the good news. That's the part that you want to hear. The painful stuff is gone, yes. But it isn't pleasure either. It isn't pleasure and it isn't pain. It's neither of those. And I'm going to tell you exactly why that is. And it's really obvious why that is. This is not soulmates, guys. This isn't. And if you look around online, that's the kind of messages you're going to get from people, right? And they don't say exactly that. They go, oh yeah, twin flames, it's all about this and that and this and that. And they describe it like it's this beautiful connection and it feels like home and you guys have the same values and it's just wonderful. And it's this, they're just always there for you. And I'm sitting there going, well, what's the difference between that description and how people describe soulmates? There isn't a difference, guys. It's because twin flames online has become a fad. Everybody wants to hop on the twin flame fad. and, get some clicks and, what's the word? It's a grift. It's become a grift, twin flames. And the fact is, twin flames are real, and it's not what people say it is. Now, you're probably going to find a few people on YouTube and the internet that are telling you somewhat the truth about twin flames, and that's a good thing. And I'm not here to put anybody down, guys. I'm not trying to make anybody wrong. I'm not trying to attack anybody. It's just, it's like that. And guys, it isn't going to do us any good to not tell the truth about this environment, the twin flame community, okay? If you want to end the suffering and do something about your situation, we need to have an honest conversation about what's going on in this twin flame community. Now, again, why should you listen to me? Look at my track record. Also, listen to what I'm going to tell you about twin flames. Guys, your twin flame is your soul. And that's the one thing everybody says about twin flames, isn't it? Everybody says that. Isn't that something? Everybody is going to tell you basically the same thing when it comes to what a twin flame is. It's one soul in two bodies, or, it's like the soul split, or you're the same soul vibration, or something along those lines, right? Okay. Well, then why does everybody have a different prescription about what to do, or even what it's like to be with them if you ever hear somebody talk about it, right? Why are those things different, but everybody describes what a twin flame is differently, right? So what I'm directing your attention to is the is. Okay, and everybody is saying the same thing about is, right? But why or how or should, those are all different for everybody else. Everybody's got a different why, how, and should. Everybody's got a different one of those, but everybody's on the same page when it comes to is. This is extremely important for you to understand this. If everybody is clear about is, right, what twin flames are, what it is, why all the confusion about should and why and how? How can this be? Well, I'm going to show you in this video. First, let's talk briefly about is, the part that everybody agrees on. And it's so obvious what this is. Everybody even has a different explanation for how your twin flame can be your soul. And I'm just going to say it like this, and I don't care if I get hate for this comment, but you know what? That's kind of silly. Straight up, guys, we already know about reincarnation. This is old news, guys. People have been talking about this for thousands of years, and they have been describing it in exactly this way for thousands of years. This is your higher self in heaven, or the afterlife, which is really the before life, right? You could call it the energy part of the universe, right? In physics, they call it dark energy, dark matter, right? The field, the fabric of space. Hermes Trismegistus called it the mental universe, right? These higher planes of existence. So that's your higher self. And in physics, they recognize the fact that the higher you go dimensionally, when you go into these higher planes, mathematically, that time has less and less and less and less meaning the higher you go. And when you reach the plane of existence that your higher self exists upon, there is no time. Every single past life you've ever lived, also your current incarnations, so this is you and your twin flame, and your future reincarnation, every single one of these, tens of thousands of them that you've experienced, are all happening at the exact same moment from the perspective of your higher self. And again, physics even says, right? Relativity. Albert Einstein, right? I'm talking about the theory of relativity, which they've proven. It demonstrated that there is no such thing as time. And here are spiritual masters all throughout the ages describing the exact same mechanism. And it was just about 100 years ago that Einstein's general theory of relativity put forth the same. And it's like, well, okay, science, it's good of you to show up to the party. You're a little late to the party, but it's good for you guys to show up, right? Here's another thing that science tells you, that the mind, the soul, and the universe, they all work on the same basic principles. You need to understand this, okay? Being with your twin flame is not romantic. It's not bad, but it's not good either. It's not pain and it's not pleasure. So we're going to go more deeply into this in a second, but I really want to emphasize this with you guys. It's non-duality, right? Non-duality is the source. You can even look around on the internet for non-dual teachings, non-duality teachings, and you're going to find a bunch of spiritual teachers. What are they talking about? The soul, consciousness, the source, the great I am. So to say that being with your twin flame is just bliss and pleasure, well, that wouldn't make sense. And we're not saying that bliss and pleasure is bad. That's just not what it is, guys. It's not pain, but it's not pleasure. It is not duality. Duality is the mind. That is the mental realm. And what your soul is beyond that. It's beyond the plane of duality on which we exist in this physical body. So being with your twin flame is, it's like that person, your other self, that's what I call them, like my paid coaching students, for example. I have them refer to their twin flame as their other self because they are you in another body. They're another incarnation of your soul. What it's like? Well, the person is there, but it's like you're by yourself. There's no sense of other. Because see, a sense of other would be called separation consciousness. That's where that word separation comes from. And we're going to speak to that in a few minutes. So the twin flame journey, it turns out, is really just the true spiritual journey. That's all this ever was. And that makes perfect sense because your twin flame is your spirit. They are your soul, right? That's what everybody gets right. Everybody is in agreement on that. But then everybody's got a different description, or I should say, I'm sorry, prescription. Everybody's got a different prescription. Same description, right? This is what a twin flame is. Different prescription, the should, the how, the why. Different prescription. How can this be? Well, it's because, guys, everybody on the face of the earth believes that they are their mind. I'm serious. And you know what? Eckhart Tolle, who, by the way, is recognized as the spiritual master of the day. He is the modern day Buddha. The very first chapter of his seminal work, The Power of Now, it's called You Are Not Your Mind. That is the root of Zen spiritualism. Everybody on earth derives their very sense of self from the mind, which is duality. I like it, I don't like it. It's good, it's bad. Divine feminine, divine masculine. Positive, negative. Past, future. Here, there. Me, you. Separation. The mind is externalized. It views everything as being separate from it. And Eckhart Tolle even speaks this exact same teaching. The ego mind perceives itself as separate. It experiences separation. Rupert Spira, another very popular modern day spiritual teacher, not the usual online, spiritual gurus that have got you doing the mirror exercise and a bunch of childhood wound healing and clearing your chakras and finding your life's purpose and living your best life and giving you all this other kind of super general advice, generic advice, that doesn't really seem to have a clear direction. Wonderful people. Wonderful people. Like I said, I'm not here to put anybody down. You know, if people want to throw stones at me and say I'm being arrogant, I would submit to you, no. Guys, the truth needs to be said. Healing the ego mind will not cause self-actualization. Living your best life. Guys, self-actualization, which is what this is, okay? Zen spiritualism. Self-actualization is what causes you to live your best life, not the other way around. So all these well-meaning, wonderful people, well-meaning but misguided, online spiritual gurus are kind of putting the cart before the horse. Balancing your inner feminine and masculine, clearing your karma, clearing your chakras, working on your inner child, doing the mirror exercise. Go out and live your best life. And then they don't even tell you what that means. What's interesting is self-actualization is the cause of those things. If you put self-actualization first, all of those other things come after it. Guys, you are not your mind. You are the soul. The soul is consciousness. The soul is being. The soul is non-duality, pure presence. And it exists in this moment. It accepts what is. That's why his book is called The Power of Now. Rupert Spira calls the ego mind the separate self. Rupert Spira is another teacher of non-duality. Genuine spiritualism, not the pop culture stuff online, guys. And I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. And again, I'm not here to put anybody down, but guys, today it's a big truth bomb. These people are reinventing the wheel. You don't need to do that. We already know what actual spiritualism is, and it's been taught for thousands of years, and it even has a name. Non-duality. You leave behind time, past, future. Time is a construct of the mind. That's why his book is called The Power of Now. You leave behind separation, this perception that you're separate from everything, like your twin flame. Separation. Isn't that interesting that twin flames are using that word? Yeah, it is very interesting. And we're going to get to that in just a few minutes. This is an ancient teaching, guys. Separation is duality. It's the mind. It's a mental concept. That's the yin and yang, me and you, this and that, hot and cold, right? Good and bad, I feel good, I feel bad, past and future, that's yin yang, okay? Science calls it relativity. This is how our universe functions and your mind. Okay, so what do I do, Kurt? What does this have to do with, what is it like to be with my twin flame? It's got everything to do. It's got everything to do with that. You already are your twin flame. And who you really are is that non-duality presence that exists in this moment, which is not separate from your twin flame. It is not the separate self. It is not thought. It is not emotion. It's pure presence. It is being. It is the great I am. And I've got a better word for you. Consciousness. What are you beyond the body and the mind? And you would say, I am a soul. Okay. But what is that really? So there's thoughts and feelings going on. And you see thoughts and feelings going on. How can you miss it with the obsessive thinking that you've been experiencing? It's so crazy how much you think about this person, isn't it? It's like it's happening to you. It's bizarre. But did you ever notice that there is a noticer of the thinking? You notice the thinking. What is the noticer? What is consciousness. It's you. It's you, guys. You are consciousness. And when you realize that at the deepest possible level, sorry, my camera is acting up. There we go. When you realize this at the deepest possible level, they call that union. They call that unity consciousness. Did you realize the true twin flame teachings have been right under your nose this whole time? When you reach this unity consciousness, inner union, they call that detaching, by the way. There's another word that you hear people in the twin flame community using. You experience no separation between you and your twin flame, you and your other self. The experience is it's just you. It's not pleasure, it's not pain. It's the inner being. It's the stillness of Zen. It's that nirvana. And when you experience that, it comes and goes in fleeting glimpses. So your day-to-day experience is really just kind of plain and ordinary. You don't experience emotions towards your twin flame. The only time I think you would ever feel anything at all about your twin flame is the physical act of love, if you know what I mean. But that's just nerve endings. Those are just physical sensations. There's no emotional exchange. And I'm not saying emotions are bad, but guys, that's duality. Duality is not bad, but that's what that is. Any kind of emotion at all ceases to exist because in order for there to be emotion, there has to be separation. I'm not saying emotion is bad. Even empathy. Empathy is great. But the thing is, empathy is an emotion which you experience for somebody. If it's for somebody, that's separation. Separation is not bad. That's just what that is, guys. It's the mind. You believe you are the mind. You think you are the one who is experiencing emotions. But just like Master Eckhart said, you are not your mind. Guys, the twin flame journey is really just the true spiritual journey. That's all this is. So what is it like to be with your twin flame? Spiritual. And here's the thing. You need to understand this. Spiritual is not duality, guys. It's not duality. So spiritual is neither good nor bad. Enlightenment is not an exotic experience. There are exotic experiences that come and go. But they come and go. This is the dichotomy of spiritualism. So, here we go with duality. So, spiritualism isn't bad. I wouldn't say it's bad. B for bad, right? It isn't bad, for sure. But here's the thing. It isn't good either. The mind thinks, and again, you think that you are that which is thinking. You think you are trying to understand what I'm saying. That's not you. That's an imprint on your body. It's the subconscious unconscious. Okay? Now, the mind thinks spiritual is good. Non-duality. Spiritual. Right? We could call it A for ascension. But here's the thing. It's not good. It isn't bad, but it isn't not bad. It isn't good. It's neither of those. It's non-duality. It's peace. That's the experience with your twin flame. There's no romance. There's no running. There's no more toxicity. There's no fighting. And they kind of just want to be around you all the time, your twin flame. But it's just kind of neutral, to put it in the words of my twin flame. She said that. She said, yeah, it's always so neutral with us. Indeed. And by the way, no, your twin flame does not awaken the way that you do. They do not. And if you're sitting around waiting for that to happen, that's one of the reasons they're running. That's separation consciousness. I am awakening, so they need to awaken too. And the content of that belief about your twin flame, that's where the ego keeps you trapped. What I'm telling you is the only thing in that statement that matters is the I and the they. I'm awakening, so they have to awaken too, and I got to do my healing so that they awaken. Well, Kurt said that I only awaken and that they don't awaken, and that doesn't make any sense, and he's making that up, and he doesn't know what he's talking about, because I was told by a million other YouTubers that I got to do a bunch of healing to awaken, and then my divine masculine will heal, and blah, 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 right? And what I'm telling you is the only two words that matter in any of that gobbledygook is I and they. That's separation consciousness. That's where the word separation came from. I even made a video about it. I'm not going to, waste your time retelling that story. If you want to go watch it, I'll put the link down below. It's also on my True Twin Flame Teachings playlist. It's called Twin Flames, Separation Consciousness, Unity Consciousness, and Detaching. When you find out where the words separation, union, and detaching really came from, you're going to have the biggest aha moment of your life. Unity consciousness, union, is in here, guys. It's got nothing to do with the other person. Although, when you reach, in quotation marks, when you reach unity consciousness, yeah, they unblock you, they start talking to you, they chase you a little bit, and it's fine. Unity consciousness is not thinking and understanding and concept. You cannot understand unity consciousness, and you don't need to. Unity consciousness, again, is where you just don't experience any difference between you and them. There is no me and them. There's just you. And that's all you experience. They are you. Again, who are you beyond the body and the mind? Consciousness, the eternal essence, the formless, timeless self. That's the soul, guys. You want your twin flame back? You got to do soul stuff. Everybody says it. Everybody says your twin flame is your soul. And then they make up all this other weird stuff about how that works too. Guys, we already know what reincarnation is. We already know what that is. You got two of them. That's all this is, guys. But when you believe that the two of you are separate, you get separation. And all you got to do to overcome that is transcend that which believes you are separate, the mind. You are not your mind. Everybody says your twin flame is your soul, and they're right. You got to do soul stuff, guys. All that other gobbledygook is mind stuff. Healing, clearing your chakras, clearing your karma, past life regression, the mirror exercise, working it out with them, talking to them, arguing with your twin flame. You don't need any of that stuff, guys. You already are your twin flame. You literally are them. The question is, what is you? And that is where we go beyond concept and question. It's so simple. Union is literally what you are. You are your twin flame. At the very deepest level. You got to go there, and it's energetic. You can't think your way there. You experience it. That's why you're going through what you're going through. They have a name for the insane dark night of the soul experience you're going through. In ancient Zen spiritualism, they call it ego death. Same exact thing. Dark night of the soul, ego death, same thing. It's the breakdown of your ego mind, right? It's melting away. That's why the obsessive thinking, the heartache, you feel pain in your chest, you are desperate, There may be a sense of meaninglessness, uncontrolled crying, like you just can't control yourself. You just start crying. Yeah, I did all that stuff, guys. And arguing and fighting with your twin flame and all this kind of stuff. I did that. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Your consciousness is exploding and it is breaking apart the hard outer crusty shell of the ego mind for you to be free. Absolutely free. You are your twin flame, my friends. You don't need to do anything about the person at all. And the second you do, what you are saying is there is another. That's separation consciousness. Union is energetic. It's a shift, and you can't think your way there. It is a remembrance of who you are as the conscious presence behind the thinker, behind the emotional dialogue too, the feelings, all that stuff. And all that stuff is fine, but that's not who you are at your very core, guys. You're not your mind. So, resources before I go. So, I've given you The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. There's also my True Twin Flame Teachings playlist on YouTube for free. Go check them out. There's also my paid coaching. It's not expensive. I even have payment plans. You can start for very little, and you get immediate access to the videos 23 hours long, and then you get to talk to me. There's also a documentary film that I would like every one of you to watch. It's called Samadhi. S-A-M-A-D-H-I, Samadhi. Go check it out. Just start with part 1. Don't skip around, right? Make sure that you watch part 1 first, right? Samadhi, S-A-M-A-D-H-I, Samadhi. Part 1. It's on YouTube. It's free. It's an hour long. Read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Go watch my free twin flame coaching videos, especially the video called Twin Flames, Separation Consciousness, Unity Consciousness, and Detaching. Right? Everybody's playing a game of telephone in the twin flame community with those words. Nobody knows why we're using those words. It's just kind of monkey see, monkey do, right? But I do. I know why we use them. Nobody does that, right? Nobody, no one, your mom and dad, your grandparents, did they say, oh, we're in union, oh, we're in separation? No, they say we're dating or we broke up or something like that, right? Who does that? Union, separation? Oh, and I got to detach to end separation. What the fuck? Nobody does that. Twin flames do. Why? Why? Where did those words come from? Guys, the true twin flame teachings are right under your nose. End your suffering today. Please do something about your situation, my friends. You are your twin flame. You are powerful, and you have all the control to end your suffering. Start today. All right. That's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.